Hey, you're back. Ryan Hayashi here. Welcome to part two of my test series, which will disappear very soon, Self-Fulfilling Prophecy. When I look at the number of views each video has from the first to the second, let's take a look. I'll do probably at least 3 of these. I can see if there's a dwindling interest or if people actually want to see further material that looks like this. All right. I've been doing something right in my life. 5 years ago, at age 45, I voluntarily took part of a medical study which chose 100,000 random people living across Germany, where I'm based. And they did everything from MRI scans to checking our blood, motor skills, vision, hearing, everything across the board. It was like an astronaut recruitment testing. They tested everything, full medical test, did not have to pay anything, did not cost anything. They didn't charge money, but they gave us the data. And I knew 5 years ago at age 45 that apparently I am, no joke, semi-immortal. My values were extremely healthy across the board. So I've been doing something right in my life. And I can tell you that between the years of 2000 and 2020, when the COVID pandemic hit the world and everyone's stability and work situation changed, I worked for 20 years without one sick day, looking forward to going to work every day because I loved my job. My job was split about in half, teaching as a professor of English, an instructor of English at the University of Mannheim in Germany, where I'm based, and also at one of Germany's largest companies, BASF, which manufactures chemicals, again, as a language coach helping business people with their English. And I just had to sit in a room, assess people's needs, assess their current level of, in this case, the English language, and then coach them, help them to get to where they wanted to be. And I did that for 20 years, and I loved it. Still doing it, but in the last 4 years, because the number of hours inevitably changed, I switched to my other side business of performing as a magician, built that up, found other work as well, did online shows for companies worldwide, including Google, for example. And that's the reason why I want to now share my journey, my experience with you. So if you're still interested, thank you for watching. Let's see how many of these videos you decide to check out. And again, remember to write me your thoughts, your comments, and your questions below in the comments, and I'll be very happy to read them and get back to you. Thank you very much. Check out the video, Self-Fulfilling Prophecy.
What's up, everyone? Ryan Hayashi here, the Modern Samurai. What do you think of yourself? And does that affect the reality of who you are? It's called the self-fulfilling prophecy. In my opinion, one of the very important things someone should think about when trying to become the best version of themselves. Let's sit down and I'll explain it to you best I can. Hi, thanks for joining me again. This time, I'd like to talk about self-fulfilling prophecy. How the way we view ourselves will actually have an impact on the reality that we produce. They did an experiment some years ago. They actually made a German movie out of it called Das Experiment about 25 years ago, starring the German actor Moritz Bleibtreu. It was a great movie called The Experiment, but it was based on an experiment held in a U.S. university, a psychology department, where they brought in two teams of people. One had to wear prison guard uniforms, and the other team had to wear the prisoner uniforms, and they had to go through the act of rounding up the prisoners, putting them in their cells, and they had to actually break off the experiment and stop midway because there was abuse happening where the prison guards were abusing the prisoners, although they were not real prisoners. And it's funny, just given that fictional role, like in a game, and given the uniform, This it caused people to lose their sense of humanity. So the way we view ourselves, and they've done countless experiments that once you convince young people or children that they are good at something and they can do something, that they find some way to do it, to make it happen. And conversely, and this is terrible, for those children who receive enough negative messages, enough negative input that they cannot learn something or do something or keep up with the others, they find some way to make it happen. You know, think about it. That's part of our human nature. You tell somebody that they're a good and kind person, they find a way to be good and kind. You tell somebody else they're this should never be the case, but that they're a bad person or that they're useless or even worse, criminal. You know, this pattern proves itself again and again to be consistent. So within the business coaching world, they call it the inner game, self-talk. Some people, they have post-it notes on their mirror. Excuse me. Some people, they have post-it notes on their mirror where they read positive affirmations to themselves every day, that they are a good person, a kind person, and that they are liked by people. This is all the same thing. It's all what image we design for ourselves to follow and to act on, to turn into our reality. Now, there's one very famous case where this, lack of a better word, self-determined sense of self-worth, it's illustrated perfectly in this example. Theodore Roosevelt, who was the U.S. president from 1901 to 1909, the youngest person in U.S. history to become U.S. president at age 42. He was a war hero and also the first American to receive a Nobel Prize in 1906. He took a term off for 4 years from 1909, 10, 11, and then in 1912 decided to run again for U.S. president. Now remember, he was a former U.S. president running again. And he was liked by a lot of the people, the voters. And his campaign management team, they printed out millions of paper pamphlets with his photo on the front page, because in those days, that's how they did their campaigning. They actually went from town to town, city to city, and held live speeches and gave out pieces of paper with writing on it. They did not have social media or television or radio in 1912. Now, after they printed several million of the pamphlets, his campaign team realized they had a legal problem, that on the photo, it actually had the name of the photo studio in Chicago. And they had not bought the rights, which was required by U.S. law in those days, to be able to print them. Now, they'd already done the printing, already invested the money, so they didn't want to go ahead and just use them and get sued and get bad press and lose even more money. So they were trying to decide how to handle this situation when the campaign team manager said, "Let me handle this." And he wrote to the photographer that produced the photo and said, "We are representing former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt, who is running again to once again become our U.S. president. And in doing so, we're going to choose one photo for his flyer to be distributed in the millions nationwide. And this will be, for whatever photographer's work we use, the greatest possible advertising you could wish for. We're taking offers. Please tell us, how much would you pay us for us to consider using your photo?" And that photographer, he paid to have his photo used on those millions of paper flyers that were already printed. So that's determining your own worth beforehand and having other people react to it. This is what it's all about. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, I can give you from my own personal career, my own life, a concrete example. My first television show as a performer, and now, as filming this at age 50, in the last 16 years, I've now done over 40 television shows in 12 countries, 6 languages worldwide, so that's a lot. And my first ever television show was in German television. It was called The Next Uri Geller. I then did the Dutch show in the Netherlands, seasons 1 and 2. And I even did the same show in Turkey. So I did 4 different versions of the same television show. Now, after I did the German show, and the structure of the show was that the performers, the magicians or mystifiers, were performing, and the viewers at home decided who they liked best to return the following week. And after the first episode of the German show, I was voted out. Now, I'd like to tell you how I then got onto the next show. Before I went on in the German show, I was approached by 2 Dutch gentlemen from the Netherlands speaking to me in English, asking, "Hello, are you one of the performers?" And I was dressed in a samurai outfit with a katana sword. And I said, "Yes, I'm about to go on. I'm performing today." And they said, "Oh, we are the producers of the Dutch show. We're producing the same show with the same celebrity, Uri Geller, with a Dutch host, Dutch celebrities. We're on the border town of Cologne, which is close to the Netherlands. We're even bringing the audience in on buses, and we're producing here in these studios in Germany. Same camera team, same camera equipment, same stage, same everything. Good luck to you." They asked me some questions about the coaching I'd had. It was live television, not pre-recorded, so we had a magic consultant and creative team behind us. Great education on how to perform. And then I got voted out. As soon as I got voted out, I decided for myself that this show was just the beginning, and I had to make my next connections count in order to get follow-up television exposure. So I found these same 2 Dutch producers, and I said, "Now we can talk." They said, "Sorry, about what? We saw you didn't make it into the next round. That's too bad. We actually thought you did a great job." And I said, "How good was my performance?" And they said, "Well, honestly, we thought you were one of the stronger performers. We don't know why you got kicked out." I told them honestly, because I was too stiff, too scary looking. I was playing a very serious samurai killer type guy. Not somebody who, families can relate to. And I said, "Now I can offer myself to your show." And they said, "Sorry, listen, we start production in 2 weeks. We have our artists line up." And I said, "How many of your artists can you honestly say right now can match what I just did? I own the costumes. I own the props. The music is cut. Same camera guys, same lights, same lighting guys, same everything. I can reproduce this for you in your show, in your language, and the act is ready to go." They took my phone number. I got a call, and I got put on the show and did extremely well. I made it to the finals. I was second place with a difference of 0.2%, less than a percent. Then I came back the following year in season 2 as a mystery performer called The Mask, wearing a mask. And again, I was second place 2 times in a row. So the reason why I went so crazy in pushing myself to get those opportunities was I had decided for myself, I am a top performer in my field, and I just need the camera time, the screen time, and the opportunity to show what I can do. And the people in charge, they felt that, and they gave me the opportunity. Okay. Anyway, that's the way I did it, and it all comes down to deciding for yourself, knowing what you want. It means what you want to be, what you can deliver, but be realistic. Yeah. And Sometimes it can even be a future projection or a future prediction of your own development potential. All right. Anyway, self-fulfilling prophecy. The picture you form of yourself will become the reality of your later self. Some people sum it up in the English phrase, fake it till you make it. In the early stages, yeah, that definitely works. If you want to become a more confident person, a better speaker, better in sales. But at the same time, only faking it does not guarantee you'll make it long term or into the higher echelons, the higher levels of your field. So that's just a beginning point. But remember, it does take a lot of work. So now, Ryan Hayashi's do's and don'ts. Don't let other people say what's not possible. Don't let other people talk you down, because that's the majority of people. People who know the younger you, the less developed you, will always say, who do you think you are? Impossible dreams. Not going to happen. Ha, ha, ha. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. The do's, listen to yourself. You decide your own goals, your own abilities, your own worth, and then you'll determine your own reality. That's, I think, a golden piece of advice that I hope is valuable to you. So thank you very much for, again, listening to this one-way talk, but I'm trying to speak as if you were here with me in the room. Look below. There's the opportunity to write your comments, your thoughts, your story, or your questions to me. I'm very happy to read the comments below and answer your questions. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you next time.